Tampa is pleased to announce the preliminary selection of the developer to lead this transformative and inclusive development. That developer is the Related Urban Group in partnership with the Tampa Housing Authority. Before turning over to Mayor Castor, yes, I agree. Before turning over to the mayor and members of the Related team and other dignitaries who will join us for some comments today, I'd like to recognize a few special guests that are with us today, starting with our council member for the district and chair of the CRA, Councilman Goods. Thank you for being here. The members of our Related and Tampa Housing Authority team. Peter Van Warner is here. He'll be speaking shortly. And from the Tampa Housing Authority, Jerome Ryans, Leroy Moore, and I know there's some other members of that great partnership here. I'd also like to recognize some of the staff who were really instrumental in bringing this together. Rob Rosner, our Director of Economic Opportunity. I don't see Kay on, but Kayon Henderson, who's manager of our Housing and Community Development, very instrumental. And then members of our CRA team, I see Michelle Van Loan, Jesus Nino. All of these folks do the tireless work behind the scenes to make something like this come together. I appreciate that. This was an extensive process, beginning with numerous community input sessions and feedback about what this community wanted and what it needed. And it concluded with a selection committee comprised of city staff, housing and building experts, and the West Tampa Citizen Advisory Committee representative who reviewed technical and qualitative inputs to make the final decision. The Related team's commitment to exceeding the affordability housing and workforce diversity goals, their experience building on this scale and in this city, and their strong financial proposal made a compelling case leading us to this decision. But those are just the high points. We'd like to share with you today more details about what to expect and how we will continue to fulfill the mayor's vision to lift all our communities and our neighborhoods. So with that, I'd like to turn it over to the person who really pushed the hardest to make this a reality, Mayor Jane Castor.
Thank you, Carol. It's so wonderful to be here at this time in this particular spot in our city's history. Many of you may have heard last week, I made an announcement about how much we had done in permitting last year. $4.5 billion in development was permitted last year, despite the global pandemic that we were in. And that figure was $1.4 billion more than 2019. And that clearly was before the global pandemic crisis. And so we are providing houses, we are providing business space, we are providing the amenities that our community desperately needs. And I'm very, very proud of our team for that. Today we're going to continue that theme of getting things done no matter what the obstacles are in front of us. The Rome Yard Development Project is a transformative one for this historical neighborhood. Many of you have heard me say I've been a part of this neighborhood since my family opened a business up at Rome and Green in 1977. And I have seen some of the changes, but what we're going to see from last year forward is really transformational for this neighborhood. In February 2020, as Carol just said, just weeks before the COVID pandemic changed the world for us, we were joined here with the Housing Affordability Advisory Team to share their recommendations to drive a very aggressive housing agenda. And that it was a promise on my part to provide a minimum of 10,000 affordable housing units by 2027. And I have no doubt we're going to be able to meet and exceed that particular goal. Some of the critical recommendations launched that day concerned increasing housing production, integrating housing affordability across all our communities, and providing housing options for a wide range of income levels. I'm proud to say today that today's announcement fulfills many of those goals and more. The Rome Yard project is an opportunity to bring additional residential development to West Tampa, but it's much more than that. It will provide workforce and apprenticeship opportunities, business opportunities, and dozens of community amenities for this entire neighborhood. The project is a critical economic driver and will add more than 600 mixed-income housing units to align with our strategic housing affordability goals. It will also drive opportunities for placemaking, retail services, and community investment that it complements the surrounding area while accounting for transportation and sustainability goals. In addition, I want everybody to hear this, in addition, Related has earmarked a minimum of 40% of the project budget. That's double what the RFP requirement is, which equates to $75 million for minority and women-owned local businesses. Yes. Just makes me feel like reading that over and over again. There's going to be a cultural center, yes, an art pavilion highlighting the rich history here in West Tampa, workforce training center focused on providing community services, more than 32,000 square feet of amenity spaces providing services such as fitness centers and libraries. The project truly embodies the best of the T3 initiatives from housing affordability, workforce development, transportation, and sustainability and resiliency. It also incorporates key requirements of the West River Master Plan, the West Tampa CRA Strategic Action Plan as well. In addition to all the benefits and features you've heard, there's also millions of dollars of qualified opportunities zone equity, revenue, and real estate taxes to come over the project's lifespans. There will also be community-based retail and commercial space, including micro retail spaces to enable small startups to get an early footing in this marketplace. These retail and commercial areas will be intentionally spaced out to best serve our local business needs. A portion of the space will also be designated as artist work areas. I love that. At least 10% of Rome Yard's retail space will be set aside for City of Tampa resident small-owned businesses. This attention to detail across every aspect of the project will ensure that we create a sustainable, resilient, socioeconomic hub that will support West Tampa and the surrounding community for generations to come. I'm very, very proud of the team that provided the selection input on this, and I'm very proud, again, to echo Carol's announcement that the Related Group and the Tampa Housing Authority were given the preliminary go-ahead on that, and it is my pleasure to bring Peter up here from Related for more information on who their partners are. Come on up, Peter.
Good afternoon, everybody. How's everyone doing today? Thank you for coming out here. I can't even tell you how excited and grateful I am to be here. Thank you, everybody. As Mayor Jane so eloquently said, our goal for this project and what we told the selection committee the other day, and I can't emphasize it enough, is to build a resilient, sustainable, socioeconomic hub that's going to lift up this area for many, many generations to come. I've been in Tampa for about 10 years, and I've seen this area completely transform over those last 10 years, and I'm excited that this is going to be the next phase in that. I'd like to mention Leroy and Jerome and David. You guys could not be better partners. I'm so thankful to be working with you guys. We also have some of our community partners here. We have our design team, BDG, Mr. Brian. We have Ziskovich, Alex. We have Kimley Horn, Miss Dawn Dodge, Mr. David Flanagan. We also have Ernest Coney, the CDC of Tampa. We have Julius Davis with Voltaire Engineering. We have Mr. Obi with Global 360. Mr. Alan Green with Envision Flooring. Please raise Miss Linda Porter with LFC Specialties. If you all would raise your hands, please. These are some of our community partners. We also have Miss Tarnisha with Ducon. Please, a round of applause for these people. Mr. Fred Hearns, are you here? Yes, sir, Mr. Fred Hearns, local historian. He's going to help us really implement some of the area's history through local art murals throughout the project, various art facades. He's going to be our full-time consultant. We're extremely, extremely thankful for that. Also have to give a special thank you to my coworkers, Alex and Kyle. These guys are the boots on the ground who get it done. Please, a round of applause for these guys. Another extremely, extremely important asset to this project is we are committing $75 million at a minimum to local, minority, and women-owned companies. $75 million. So at the end of this project, or at the end of this presentation, I'd like to show you all an overview video, but I'll just briefly kind of show you and tell you about the project. Currently, obviously, the design is still underway, but as it currently stands, we're going to have only over 950 units across 6 apartment buildings and 40 townhomes. And there's going to be a huge focus on affordability with those townhomes, as well as these apartment buildings. We're truly going for a mixed income development that will lift up this area. As you can see over here, here's 4 of the buildings. We have 2 more to the north, roughly 8 stories, around 150 units apiece. In the bottom of this building right here, we have the Cultural Center, and also we have a Workforce Training Center, which we're going to be working with the CDC of Tampa and the West Tampa CDC to build a list and train people from this area to take up trades and truly enable them to be successful long term. One of my personal favorite aspects of this is the Cigar Tower right here. We're using the brick that's reminiscent of the historical cigar factories to truly highlight the history of this area. We have the Riverwalk that's coming right through the project. It's going to snake through and then run up Rome Avenue. That'll help us to activate and engage the residential community to the west. My personal favorite, the Great Lawn. We're going to have a musical amphitheater here, a lawn for movies on the park, yoga, events, truly a community gathering place to build and make this area very special. I'm extremely thankful. Thank you all for this great opportunity.
Thank you, Peter. Thank you, Mayor. I think you can see why we're so excited about this, some of the partnerships that are highlighted here today, the exciting opportunities of the design piece, but there's a quantitative and qualitative component, both of which make this a really meaningful opportunity for us. With that, I'd like to introduce 2 individuals to speak for a moment. They both represent an integral part both of getting us to this point today, their support and their advocacy for what we're trying to accomplish, as well as the importance that they will play in seeing this project through to its successful conclusion. I'd like to start with our councilman for the district and chair of the CRA, Orlando Goods.
Well, good morning, everyone. What I can say that everything happens in 5. 5 is alive. I'm glad to be the councilman at this juncture, that things are moving in the right direction. We thank the administration. Jane has done a great job working with our council. They could not be here. A lot of them are at the fire station because we're working on fire station issues as well in the city. A lot of things have to be done, and with this administration partnering with us, we're getting them done. What I can say, looking at the brochure, the administration heard some of the council's cries. Well, we heard the cries from the community. And when I see 40%, and I also heard that there's going to be a community business agreement as well within this program, which I'm very excited about, that I made sure that I went to foster it because that's needed. looking at the project in itself, I heard that Related blew everybody out the water, from my understanding. And some of the things I see in this proposal here that's on this list here is very exciting to me. It's going to help a lot of people, especially with the diversity I see with the team that's been assembled. When I look around, I see the hands that were raised. That's great. That people see that they're involved, and the community will see that this project has everybody at the table. And that's key, to have everybody at the table. Because if you're not at the table, you're being eaten. It's the old saying. I think a lot of us know that saying. Well, I can tell you, we all gonna eat now because this project has a lot of details to it. So I just say, Jane, thank you for the work you've done, your administration, your team, and again, I know my council will be happy to see some of the things when I take this brochure back to show them some of the things that's happening. So again, thank you for your administration, Jane, and the related group.
Thank you, Councilman. And finally, I'd like to wrap up with someone who has been an incredible advocate for this program, supported us throughout, was also a member of the selection committee, and really, I think, represents one of the most critical aspects of this entire process, which was gathering public input, reflecting the real needs and wants of this community on the ground at the root of the matter. And that's Joe Robinson, chair of our West Tampa CAC. Joe?
Good afternoon, finally. Let me just say this starting off. I thank God Almighty for this day, first of all. It's a beautiful day, and it's a real good day. And it's a great day because the day is my birthday, and I'm glad for this birthday present. So I've been waiting since 1962 to see this area, of West Tampa, CRA and the rest, old West Tampa and everything come alive, okay? So, and this is like my pinnacle. I've had set some bucket lists. This was one of them. Had some other bucket lists, but we couldn't do that because of COVID. But I've done a lot of things in West Tampa. Been here all my life since 1962. So if you've been here that long, you might can tell me something. And I want to say this because nothing gets done without teamwork. And I just have to say this because this is like, I'll be leaving the chair in June. I'll still be on the committee, but I'm going to turn the chair over to somebody else. I got us to where we at. This is the pinnacle. This is the top of how far we want to go in West Tampa. We've got the Riverwalk. Thank you, MAP. Thank you, federal government, Kathy Castor and all those guys. We've got the Housing Authority doing their thing. We've got the schools talking about being consolidated. We've got the community talking about cleaning up the trash and all on Main, and cleaning up all the shooting and all going around here, which, you know, we live with it, but it eventually stopped. But let me just recognize these people because they're not here. Kat Daffrey, Oshina Hendrick, that's hot. I'm going to just tell the organizations y'all don't know that went behind this. I'm just the chair. The North Hyde Park Civic Association, D. Jackson, the West Tampa Alliance, Daphne Jones, the West River Crime Watch Group, Miss Sanchez just came on board. She's at large. Janice Williams sitting over there just came on board at large. Carlos Ramirez, my North Hyde Park Alliance. And the other thing is I'm an engineering professional, so is he. That makes a difference on the committee. Michael Bracola at large. Myself with the West Tampa CDC. Walter Smith from the West Tampa Community Council, Matthew Javier, the West Tampa Chamber of Commerce, new member. Tina Young from Project Link, right down the street. And of course, I could not forget Bobby Wilson, who was my alternate on this project and represents the old West Tampa neighborhood. You sort of hear me choking up because it's not easy to get commitments to minority businesses. It's not easy to get an RFP what people don't complain about, although there's people complaining about it. But let me tell you this. If you do your homework, having been on a lot of selections in my life, if you do your homework, you talk to the community, you find out what's going on, you include those people in the decision, you bring them to the table when you want to get something done in an RFP, you will be successful. Do your homework. If you didn't do your homework, one thing about me, I did my homework all my life when I left the University of Iowa. That's why I was fifth in my class. I do my homework. So do your homework. Experience counts. You got experience, it counted. Experience. We need no rookies. This is not a startup thing. We need veterans, people that are ready there. We want a Super Bowl team, not just a regular team. And we won the Super Bowl down the street, and we want to win a Super Bowl right here where we're standing at. And one of the final things I'm going to say, I'm also the NAACP second vice president, so I want to let that be known. I told Yvette Lewis I would mention her name, okay, because the NAACP, also I was representing a lot of hats sitting on this, because it's never happened in the city of Tampa history. Thank you, Mayor, for letting a citizen sit on a selection committee with your staff. I don't think that's ever happened in the city of Tampa history on a major RFP development. It might be something you might want to look at in the future. That was smart. And the thing about it is that one of the things that Councilman Goose, oh, I hear him up there hollering and all of this, and everybody on the east side or west side, and I tell him, when you cross the river, you better check in with me, okay? You do whatever you want on that east side, but when you cross that river, if you don't check in with me, you can forget it. You can forget it, okay? Because I'm not going to stop. I'm not scared of anything, and I done challenge everybody in the room, so it doesn't really matter anymore. I done got to be 67 today, thank you, Jesus. Okay, I got my Social Security check, been coming in for 2 years, and I'm still doing some consulting when I get ready. So I ain't worried about nothing over here. And my mama died and left me over $1 million of real estate, so I could care less. So the bottom line is this. The final thing I'm going to say is this. Gooch, you were right. I sat on a Zoom call with St. Pete, which I was saying St. Pete's ahead of us. Yeah, they are in certain ways, but not on this one. We talked for an hour and a half about a community benefit agreement, something that the city has been trying to get, something that they're trying to get an ordinance, something that needed to be done because, as the related group guys said, it's a guarantee for the community of what we say we're going to do. So I just want to say that I believe on this project. It ain't negotiated yet. People trying to attack it already, but that's the way life goes. But God will prevail. So the thing is community benefit agreement. These people said they would do one. Matter of fact, they said they've already done one down in Miami. I said, wow, they already done one. So I think, Mayor, when I'm gone, you gone, that community benefit gonna still be around, and it's still gonna be enforceable. And it's the very first time in the history of this city, I want you to know, that a community benefit agreement's ever been talked about without even having to have a city council producer ordinance. It was volunteered and agreed to. Right, Rob? And I just want to thank Rob. You know, he was one of the 3 Bs. Now it's just 1 B left. It used to be Bob Buckhorn, Bob O'Donoghue, and Bob Rosen. Now it's just that, Bob. But, Matt, you got a great team. I never really worked with them. I've dealt with them. And I'm still in the cone of silence for all y'all out there want to ask me questions, okay? I'm telling you, I'm still in the cone of silence, okay? So if it ain't in here public, if it ain't published by y'all in the press, I can't talk about it. Don't ask me. But as soon as that cone of silence come up, you can ask me anything you want. So I'm just letting you know today, thank you, Matt. Thank you for doing what you say you was going to do, standing up in this community, especially this African-American, Hispanic, Black community, and delivering something that's top-notch next to nothing else in the state of Florida. And I just want to thank you that. I want to thank that team for pushing this community benefit agreement, and I have known what the Housing Authority could do. I know what they could do. You know how I know? I don't have to see it here. I walk 4 blocks down there and see what they're doing. That's how I make a decision.
Is anyone inspired and ready to get this thing kicked off? I can't tell you how challenging it's been to put Joe Robinson in a cone of silence. Happy birthday, and thank you for all of your support. He did mention one thing. I would be remiss to not recognize our selection committee. Many of the members are here. If you could raise your hands. A lot of wonderful input there. Again, as Joe emphasized, this was not just inside the city staff. We brought in professionals who on public financing, on housing development, and really appreciated the inputs from across many spectrums. So I really appreciate all of that assistance. As you heard, we have a lot of excitement here. We also have a lot of work ahead of us, so we are ready to dig in. There's a lot of moving parts that will lie immediately ahead of us, but we are all committed as a team 100% to bring this together. as our it's especially meaningful at a time as we feel like we are emerging from COVID somewhat, and the time for a true economic boost is right here in front of us. So we're beyond excited about it, and again, thank everyone for your input. We have a video that the related group put together that adds a little more context to what they had described. We'll show that to close. Also, all of the information that's been shared is available on the city's website, so if you want to see these site plans, floor plans, details of the proposal, it is all there, open and transparent. With that, I'll conclude. We're happy to take some questions before showing the video, and then we'll wrap for the day and get this work underway.